Have you ever felt like peace is just around the corner? Like, if you could just finish everything on your to-do list, fix that one relationship, calm your emotions and get your life under control, then, maybe then, you'd finally feel peace. Most of us carry this silent belief. We think peace is something we can create, through effort, through control, through managing everything perfectly. We chase a version of peace that feels quiet, clean, and polished. But what if that version of peace isn't peace at all? What if it's a performance? What if we've confused peace with control and stillness with suppression? This video is an invitation to pause, to take a deep breath, and to begin unlearning the illusion that peace must be earned, achieved, or controlled. Because real peace, deep soul-level peace, doesn't come when everything is finally perfect. It comes when we stop needing things to be perfect. It comes when we stop running and we begin allowing. Let's explore this together. We live in a world that constantly tells us to be better, be calmer, be more positive, be in control of your emotions, be someone who doesn't get triggered, be someone who always knows what to say. And so we start chasing peace the way we chase success. We try to achieve it. We meditate every day. We journal every emotion. We analyze our thoughts. We read spiritual books. We listen to podcasts. We try to become more conscious. None of this is wrong, but sometimes even the most spiritual practices become another form of control, another way of saying, I don't want to feel what I'm feeling. We confuse relief with peace. Relief feels good, but it's temporary. It comes when the discomfort goes away, when the fear quiets down, when the pain is hidden under layers of productivity or positivity. But peace, true peace, it's not the absence of discomfort. It's the ability to sit with discomfort and not flinch. It's the quiet confidence of saying, I don't have to like this, but I don't have to run from it either. Control feels safe. It gives us a sense of power. If I can control how I feel, how I act, how I speak, maybe I can avoid pain. Maybe I can be liked. Maybe I can finally be enough. And so, without even realizing it, we start performing. We don't call it that, of course. We just think we're being mature, responsible, or self-aware. We learn to shape our emotions so we don't burden others. We explain ourselves again and again to avoid being misunderstood. We rehearse our honesty in our heads before saying it out loud, just to make sure it lands the right way. This performance becomes our mask, but here's the truth. Peace isn't found in being perfectly regulated or always calm or always in control. It's found when we soften, when we stop gripping so tightly, when we stop editing who we are just to be accepted. If we look closely, we'll see that our desire for control and perfection doesn't come from peace. It comes from fear. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of being too much or not enough. Fear of being judged, abandoned, or seen in a raw, messy state. So we hide. We manage. We become emotionally intelligent to the point that we lose touch with our real emotions. We smile when we want to cry. We say, I'm fine when we're not, and in doing so we may appear peaceful, but inside we feel exhausted. Because deep down we know we're not being real, we're not allowing life to touch us, we're trying to keep it all under control, and control is not peace, control is survival. So what does real peace look like? It doesn't look like perfection, it looks like presence. It looks like someone crying openly and still feeling safe. It looks like someone being triggered and still choosing to stay kind. It looks like someone saying, I don't know, and not feeling ashamed. It's not about having no emotions. It's about having room for all emotions, even the messy ones, even the ones we were taught to hide. Real peace is soft. It doesn't need to prove anything. It doesn't come from effort. It comes from surrender. There's a strange thing that can happen on the healing journey. The very tools that are meant to help us feel can become ways to avoid feeling. We start meditating not to meet ourselves, but to escape our emotions. We journal not to express truth, but to fix our thoughts. We analyze not to understand ourselves, but to control every reaction. We make peace a goal, a destination, a reward for being good enough. But here's the paradox. The more we try to achieve peace, the further it slips away. Because peace is not a product of effort. Peace is the absence of effort. It doesn't come when we finally heal every part of ourselves. It comes when we stop needing to be fully healed in order to be whole. Most people aren't looking for peace. They're looking for relief. From discomfort, from anxiety, from sadness, from anger. But the most powerful transformation happens when we stop running from these emotions and start sitting with them. Really sitting, not fixing, not managing, not controlling, just allowing. Can you sit with sadness and let it be? Can you feel anxiety without trying to solve it? Can you meet fear without trying to shut it down? It's not easy. It takes courage to feel what's real. But something sacred happens when we do. We realize the emotion itself is not the enemy. Our resistance to it is. So how do we find real peace? Not through force, not through mastery, not through becoming someone else, but through softening our expectations, softening our grip, softening the voice inside that says we have to be better before we can be at ease. Imagine a clenched fist. That's what control feels like. Now imagine it slowly opening. That's what peace feels like. When we let go of needing to be in charge, we make space for something deeper. Presence, awareness, compassion. We stop reacting, we start responding, we stop hiding, we start showing up. We stop chasing peace and realize it's been here all along, waiting for us to let go. One of the subtle signs of inner peace is this. You stop over-explaining yourself. You no longer need everyone to understand you. You no longer feel the urge to justify every emotion or decision because you trust yourself. You know your heart. You're rooted in presence, not performance. This doesn't mean you stop communicating. It means you stop pleading for acceptance. You stop shaping your words just to be palatable. You speak from truth, not from fear. And when someone misunderstands you, you don't spiral. You breathe. You stay grounded. You remember, your peace does not depend on other people's perceptions. So often we believe peace is something far away, something we'll find when we finally fix ourselves, when we figure everything out, when our past no longer hurts, when our mind no longer races, when life is finally calm. But what if peace was never missing? What if it's been here all along, waiting in the silence beneath our effort? Waiting behind the masks we wear, behind the control we cling to. Not something to earn, not something to chase, but something we allow. Because real peace is not the result of emotional perfection. It's not about finally becoming someone who never gets triggered, never feels sad, never feels lost. Real peace is not about always being calm. It's about being real. It's about being present, being honest, being open even when it's uncomfortable. It's about showing up fully, even when life feels messy and uncertain. Peace is when we stop needing to hold everything together, when we allow life to be what it is and stop trying to curate it, when we stop managing our feelings and start feeling them, when we stop editing who we are and start becoming who we've always been. Peace doesn't arrive through effort. It arrives through surrender. It blooms in the silence after we've stopped trying so hard, when we finally pause and breathe and say, "This is enough, I am enough, right here, right now." That's where real peace lives, not in perfection, but in presence, not in control, but in connection, not in a future version of us, but in the one who's listening right now. So maybe the journey isn't about becoming peaceful. Maybe it's about remembering you already are. You just needed to stop, soften, and return home to yourself. Peace is not something you achieve, it's something you allow. Let go. Be here. You're already enough.